Hello, everyone. We'll get started in just a few minutes, let people roll in. Thank you all for joining today. I know it's a Friday. Happy Friday. Um, Today we're going to be talking about Kentucky and the Volkswagen settlement. My name is Hailey Mullin. I'm a federal program specialist with the Office of Energy Policy. We're housed in the Energy and Environment Cabinet. Just to let you guys know, the webinar is being recorded currently, and the recording of the webinar will be shared on our website. The link to the website's on the screen. All information discussed today can be found on our website in the application instruction manuals for the program. And please remain muted for the time being until the end of my presentation. It should be just about 15 or so minutes, so we'll have plenty of time for Q&A at the end. If you're unfamiliar with the Volkswagen settlement, it was a series of legal settlements addressing the company's manipulated emissions testing, and the settlement resulted in a $2.7 billion allocation to an environmental mitigation trust, which was then divided amongst the states to finance projects targeting reduction in NOx emissions. In Kentucky, the Kentucky General Assembly directed our state share towards the replacement of school and transit buses and towards light-duty electric vehicle infrastructure throughout the state. Kentucky still has about $3.4 million in unspent allocations for the EV charging infrastructure portion of our program. And so that's what we're going to be talking about today. We are going to be funding level 2 and level 3 charging infrastructure. Thanks, Emma, for sharing the link to our website. If you're a little unfamiliar with level 2 and level 3 charging and their differences, level 2 chargers use 240 volt power. They're faster than a standard home outlet and add about 20 to 30 miles of range per hour. The level 3 chargers are much faster and use high voltage DC power, adding 100 plus miles of range in 20 to 30 minutes. And they are significantly more costly to install than the level 2s. The program that we're operating is two separate programs, one for level 2 and one for level 3, and they're going to be operating as a reimbursement program. And the reimbursement is at a 50% cost reimbursement of the eligible expenses that we've outlined. This includes anything that's directly necessary for the installation of the charger, including the design cost, labor, the new charging station units. We are not funding use units, conduit signage at the parking spots, bollards, cables, wiring, electrical components, any concrete or asphalt addition or replacement that's necessary, paint striping and stenciling of the parking spaces, and annual networking and maintenance fees for up to 3 years. The eligibility for the two programs are significantly different. So for the level 2 program, we're looking for applicants who are owners and operators of locations where the chargers could be accessed by the public, employees, or residents of multifamily housing, which includes public spaces such as government facilities, parks, transportation hubs, office spaces, industrial sites, apartment complexes, condominiums, etc. Under this program, individual private residences will not be eligible. And if you're curious about whether or not your entity is eligible, please feel free to reach out to me and I can help you with that. The level 3 program is a little bit more cut and dry. We're funding level 3 chargers at public, commercial, and general aviation airports located in Kentucky. This slide kind of details the timeline of our program. Our application will open on April 13th in just a few weeks, and it will remain open until all of the funding is obligated. We are running the program in a first come, first serve kind of framework, and the funding levels will be updated on the website throughout the program. Once an application is reviewed and approved, the applicant will receive a letter outlining how much reimbursement they've been approved for and detailed instructions on how to complete a reimbursement request once the station's operational. It's quite important that these stations become operational quickly. We need the reimbursement submitted by August 1st of 2027. And then once that reimbursement request is sent in, we will review it, approve the reimbursement request, and then submit the reimbursement for payment. And the entity has an obligation to maintain the operation of the charger for a minimum of 3 years and submit usage data anytime the OEP requests it. For both of these programs, you can submit one application per entity. And if you happen to be eligible for both of the programs, then you can submit one to each. An example of this is, say, a government entity wants to install some level 2 chargers at 2 separate buildings that are within their jurisdiction. They would submit a single application, including both of the locations. And then they would be eligible to receive up to $25,000 for the level 2 program, or 50% of eligible costs if the project falls underneath that amount. The level 3 program does not have a cost cap. $25,000 would just simply be not enough money to install even one level 3 charger. So we have not placed a cap on the funding amount for the level 3 program. This slide kind of outlines what will make the most successful and complete application. We are using the platform called Submittable. The application portal is a virtual form. And also within Submittable, after you complete your form, you'll receive all the communications about your application, including the approval status via emails from the platform. A successful application will include your entity's UEI number and an EMARS ID. You can get an EMARS ID or find out if you do have an EMARS ID by registering with the Kentucky Secretary of State via the vendor self-service portal. And we require a detailed budget estimate. We do have an Excel spreadsheet provided on the website that you can use, and we need to have outlined the 50% cost match. A huge FYI for this project is that these are not federal funds, and so federal funds can be used as cost share on the projects. For this project, to submit an application, you'll need to reach out to your utility provider. They will need to provide a will service letter confirming that you have adequate capacity to accommodate the installation. And of course, we need project information like number of ports, how many stations you want to install, the brand, the models of the equipment, and estimated project timeline. All of the equipment installed under this program must be ENERGY STAR certified and meet Underwriter Laboratory certification. I will say it's probably harder to find a charger that doesn't meet these standards than it is to find one that does. So I just recommend looking into the technical specifications for the equipment that you're looking at and just double checking that they do meet these 2 standards. We need to know the financial structure, who will own the station, receive any financial benefit from the station, who will be in charge of providing maintenance and repair for the 3 years, where the station's located, what kind of site it is, whether it's a public workplace, multi-unit, or airport facility, and who's going to have access to be able to use the charger. ADA compliant considerations is a huge part of this project as well. We require a sort of diagram detailing the layout of the proposed station and how you plan to make it accessible. And we'll go into more detail on this in the next 2 slides. We also want to see any maintenance contracts you plan, equipment estimates, and operation agreements. These are the types of stations that are going to need to meet the ADA requirements outlined in our program. State, local governments, public parks, municipal buildings, public street parking or right-of-way, residential housing that is provided by state or local government, EV charging stations that are at a private business that are open to the public, and then even for the airports, if or other businesses looking to charge their fleet, if you're opening those stations up to corporate clients or your visitors, then those will also need to be ADA compliant. We have 2 resources on our website that are really going to be kind of your Bible when it comes to planning out your ADA compliance for the program. The first is the design recommendations for accessible electric vehicle charging stations and the guidance in complying with ADA requirements. The image to the right is kind of an example of what we will be looking for. There are some really key considerations, such as providing a barrier-free route for those with wheelchair use, striping that space in blue and having it be a certain width, looking at the proximity to the entrance, or if the station is not near the entrance, what does the route to the entrance look like? We want to make sure that those chargers have accessible communication features and user interfaces and accessible payment systems. You'll also see in those guides that just like every other vehicle, sometimes the driver door and the charging port are on opposite sides of the vehicle, so making sure that the clearance around both sides of the vehicle is wide enough for wheelchair users. Signage is an interesting one. If the station is open to the public, it's going to need to have one of those D9B or D9BP signs, electric vehicle charging. Sites that are ADA accessible do not need to be reserved to need to be like reserved parking, but the blue stenciling is still mandatory to denote that the parking space is still wheelchair accessible. And then obviously if you're going to install or if you're going to enforce any sort of regulations, you're going to want to install signs that are appropriate for those regulations, like EV charging only signs or stenciling. And then if you're going to enforce some sort of 7 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. only kind of sign, then you might want to look at the signs in those documents. And there's also some technical assistance from the access board. I put the phone number in the email up at the top right. And these are just some final considerations for the program. We do require that public-facing charging stations meet a certain uptime. And this is just because we want to make sure that those stations are to the maximum capacity available for people to use. This is obviously different if the charger is only available for your employees or if it's only available for residents of a apartment complex, etc. But public-facing stations must also be networked and connected to an open source non-proprietary communication protocol. And this simply means that there's a software that collects data and enables drivers to find new stations and view the status of the station, whether it's currently active or not. It allows them to start a charging session and pay for the station if payment is required. That's also something important to know, is that the stations do not require payment, or if you would like to make payments an option, then that's fine as well. Regardless of whether the station is public or not, it still needs to be capable of providing usage data to our office. And then the site may not be located in a 100-year flood zone. It should also be in a safe and well-lit area and at a safe distance from traffic circulation. And this is my contact information. So please note that down if you want to ask a question offline, but I'm happy to go ahead and open this up to questions. Like I said, short presentation, so we have plenty of time for questions. You guys should be able to unmute yourself. Yeah, go ahead, Brad.
Thanks, Hailey. Hey, you said something right at the beginning about this presentation. Is that going to be available on your site? I don't see it now. Are you going to, how is this going to be available? The presentation we're looking at?
I am recording it currently. It'll be on a YouTube, and I'll share a YouTube link, and then I'll also just upload the slides. Yeah, they're not currently on there, but I will do that by close of business today.
Great, thanks.
I think I saw Jesse next.
When it comes to location allocation, is there any consideration based on existing or close by DCFC existing charging stations? Say for instance, there's a 100 kilowatt Chatamo, but I'm wanting to put in a 1.2 megawatt. Obviously if they're close, but it's kind of upgrading that region for something. How would you handle that situation?
Our program will fund a new station. So if the station just happens to be next to an existing station, that would be an acceptable use of the funding. Does that answer your question? I'm not sure if I understood it.
Kind of. I mean, I wouldn't think right next to it, but say it's 10 miles away or 5 miles away or somewhere where tourism. I'm actually looking at this as a tourism opportunity as well for a destination.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, the program is kind of like a first come, first serve program. So we're not, scoring the applications in any way. And so whether or not this is like the one charger in 50 miles doesn't make it more competitive than, another application, if that helps.
Yep. Thank you.
Charlie?
Hi, yes. One question I have. So if you can look at my profile picture behind me, that's my existing EV charging station. Am I eligible for these rebates for one that's already existing and deployed that I have yet to file anything for? This is released in October, and I was unaware of this program. I would like to be able to, of course, build another one. That's my thing. What can I do about, possibly recouping some of the costs that I've already had on this? It's a level 3. Program... I mean, it's a level 3 and open to the public.
Okay, so our level 2 program is for public facing chargers at like businesses. The level 3 is just for airports. So and in general, we're not covering the cost of used chargers. And so I don't see that the existing charger would be eligible for our funding.
Okay. All right. Well, that kind of stinks, but okay. So the level,
the level 3 is only.
Yeah, I will. Right after this.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Nicholas?
Yes, good afternoon. I just had a couple of questions, so I might take a bit of time. Just based on the presentation and on the verbiage in the application checklist document, it says, am I right in understanding that applicants are limited to government entities for level 2 projects, or can any business be an applicant?
any business is available to
Okay.
be an applicant, whether you fall under the workforce or the public facing charger program. Yeah, both of them.
Okay, but for what about MUDs? Is it
Sorry, what
also the
did you say?
case? For multi-units, is it also the case that,
Oh,
or are they only government provided? Because I just saw it on the presentation.
the level 2 program includes public facing chargers at businesses or
Mhm.
government facilities, also multifamily housing, also all of the above. All three of those eligible
Mhm.
entities are eligible that you just mentioned.
Okay, so and a regular business can apply for any of those, right?
The level 2, yes.
Okay, got it. Then another thing I have, because well, I mean, we are a turnkey solution provider, so we supply the equipment, do the installation, like all steps
Mhm.
of the process. Can the rebate be reassigned to someone like us, or is it only the lead applicant who can receive the rebate check?
We would want wherever the charger's getting installed, say you're working with a government entity, we would want them to
Mhm.
install. But if you guys are there to help them with their application, then that would be great.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, we have the workforce to install the chargers as well, like licensed electricians. But my question is, will like in other rebate programs sometimes an entity like us would be able to receive the check instead of the site owner with an LOA signed? Is that not something that's available here?
No, we would want individual entities to apply for the program because we
Okay.
only want one like application per entity.
Oh,
So we wouldn't
okay.
want you to apply for multiple entities at once, say.
Okay,
You know what I
got
mean?
it. Got
Yeah.
it. And the final thing for me, is it necessary for the applicant to be the site owner, or can it be some other type of relationship for the lead applicant of the program?
Could you give me an example?
For example, we had some projects where there was a site owner, but the people who
Mhm.
owned and operated the chargers were leasing the parking spaces with that person. So if that was the case, for example, here to install new chargers,
Yes.
obviously, who would be the lead applicant and who would receive the funding in the end? And is it even allowed to
Yeah.
do it like that?
Either of them would be eligible. We would need an operation contract between the two, showing, who's going to be owning it, who is doing
Mhm.
the maintenance on it, etc.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. I think that's it from.
Yeah, let me know if you have any other questions. Javed?
Yeah, thank you, Hailey. So my question is following up on the previous speaker, two questions. So one is, we are a company which can do all the things, all the processes, and we have some site owners already talking to us. So in that case, will our application be considered as one if we apply on behalf of or in partnership with those entities, or should we file three applications? Because you said there's one application per entity, so we're considering our company as EV solutions and want to apply to sort of three places. And second question is, sorry, is that you said there's no cap on level 3 charges. Did I hear it correctly?
Yes, but the level 3 charging program is exclusive to airports.
Oh, just airports. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, I see. All right. Okay. Okay, then.
Yeah, and the first program, or the first question, sorry. I think it would be advantageous for you to apply individually so that, if you're going to reach the cost cap for the level 2, you would have individual cost caps for each entity applying, rather than if you submit one application, you'll have a cost cap of 25,000 for all three of your sites, if they're different entities.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah. Balin?
I think you just answered my question. I was just asking, is it only airports eligible sites? So for level 3, and that it sounds like yes, it is only
Yes.
airports.
Correct.
Okay, thanks.
Josh, you have another question?
Oh, I don't remember asking the first one. I have two questions.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right. Thanks, Hailey.
Yeah, no problem.
So first question, what about nonprofits like churches?
Mhm.
Yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, those are perfectly acceptable, especially if they're opening up the charging to the public
Right, okay.
or to their
Understood.
workforce. Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
wonder if getting their, the federal number is gonna be a little bit, it's not something that they'll, it might be new for them. Yep, but great. And then the other question I have is, I do see that, electrical service conduit is eligible expenses. I'm just wondering how far might that be able to go if, I'm not talking about a whole new service upgrade, but if there is, a new load center that needs to be installed in addition to just one breaker. I'm just curious if there's how y'all are gonna consider what is eligible, what versus what's not in terms of balance of system components.
Yeah, we have a little bit of flexibility in that determination. The Volkswagen funding says that anything necessary for the installation of the
Okay.
charger would be an
Right.
eligible expense. So that's something we could definitely chat about a little bit further if the utility comes and they say these are, the upgrades that we need to have the adequate capacity on site for the install. So,
Thanks. That's it.
yeah. Do we have any other questions? Oh, Bob?
Yeah, Hailey, I apologize. I missed the first 5 minutes. Is there a deadline for the application again?
Yeah, the application's gonna open April 13th, and we're not gonna close it until we have all of the funding allocated to folks. So there's not a deadline per se, but it is first come, first serve, and so if you wait too long, maybe there won't be funding. But
All right, thank you.
yep, and then we do have a deadline with the trust that we have to have all of this money spent by a certain time in 2027. So all of the projects that we're funding will have to absolutely be operational and submit us a reimbursement request by April or August 1st of 2027. So, I mean, we think that that is plenty of time, but I definitely say don't wait too long to start planning your project if you are intending to apply, because we would absolutely hate for somebody to think that they have funding and then not be able to get their project operational in time. All right, Angela.
Yes, just real quick, a point of clarification on
Mhm.
this is, so is this a competitive grant process or is this just a first come, first served? Whoever gets their applications in first gets the money?
Yes, the latter. It's not competitive. We're not scoring, whether or not your charger is better than the charger in another application per se. We're not ranking the location of the charger or how many people we think might use it. It is like a first come, first serve program.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Brent?
Hi, thank you. So did you say that this is not part of the NEVI program? This is separate from the federal NEVI funds?
Correct. This is not a part of the NEVI. This is a very separate funding pot. And like I said earlier, these are not federal funds. So if you happen to have another federal funding source and this may be an eligible activity under that funding source, you could use other federal funds as match for this program.
Oh, great. Thank you.
Yep. Sorry, I forgot who raised their hand first, but I don't think I've talked to Kelly yet.
Hi, I just have a quick question. I also hopped on a few minutes too late.
Mhm.
Can you tell me, when we apply for this, will we be, if approved, will it be for 100% of the cost of the installation and everything, or just a fraction?
It is 50% of the eligible expenses that were outlined in the presentation. I'm not sure how much of the presentation you missed, but yeah, 50% of eligible costs that are necessary for the installation of the charger.
Okay, thank you.
Right, Chad?
Yeah, hi. I have a question. I don't know if it was in the presentation or in the related material, but there was a line that said the connector type needed to be the J1772. But I know particularly ChargePoint makes an Omniport, which has a J1772 included with its CCS1 and NACS ports. It's one port for all of them. Would that still qualify for this? Or does
Yeah,
it have to be
absolutely.
just a J? I want to make sure it wasn't specific
Yeah.
to a single J.
No, we would like for the charger to have at the minimum that port.
Okay.
It would be great if it had more than just that port. So I think that would be perfect.
All right, that sounds great. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, Brad.
Yeah, I got more of a comment. So you've said it's first come, first serve, and then you're going to go to all the money's gone. So if, like in our particular case, we have a site already there. There's asphalt there. We have a transformer within about 50 feet. So we're looking at about 50 feet of conduit. We've already had the local utilities come out, and we're looking at, you know, something like $12,000 or something like that, something really small, or 15,000 for site work, if less than that. And then, but if somebody was right in front of us and they had just a big hill that they had to level, put in concrete, asphalt, and they take up $700,000 of site work, that's really a disadvantage to other folks that are kind of, you know, shovel ready.
Yeah, no, that is a good point. This is first come, first serve for submitted applications. So it's not who can get the charger installed first. It's who has a complete application and gets a letter saying, we have approved you to go ahead and start work to get your stations that we've approved operational.
All right. Thanks.
Yeah. Daryl?
Yeah, this is Daryl with the Airport Mobile. Are you, and this may be in the application that's not available yet, but are you limiting this to a number of stations? Like, is it just one or is it multiple stations?
No, you can apply for multiple stations and multiple ports on each station. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Any more questions? Jesse?
Is there an indirect rate with this as well?
No, it's not an indirect rate. Hey, Carol.
Hey, I just wanted to clarify, Brad, where you asked about having people in front of you with the big projects, but just remember that all these projects have a cap of $25,000. So it doesn't matter if they spend $800,000 or $30,000. The max they can receive is $25,000. So it's
for the level 2.
For the level 2, yes, that's correct.
Yeah, we're going for a level 3, and I didn't think there was a cap on that.
There is not. It'd still be 50% of cost, though.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Thanks, Carol. Okay. I don't think there's any more. Nope. Josh?
Well, that being said, just really curious, is there any way that you all would consider having a portion of this funding available for level 2s? I'm leery that it might get soaked up by level 3s.
I'm not sure what you're asking. There's separate funding pots, one for level 2 and one for level 3.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that.
Yes.
I thought it was both the 3.4. So great. Okay.
Yeah, no, we separated out at least 15 projects worth if all 15 projects take up the 25,000 cost cap, which I mean, I don't think is likely. So, I mean, it should fund maybe more close to 20 projects in the level 2.
Wonderful. All right. Thank you.
Yeah. Alrighty. And you guys definitely feel free to reach out to me via email with any more follow-up questions. Happy to chat and schedule a call if you prefer to chat that way. But thank you guys for coming to the webinar. I hope to see your applications in sometime in April or May. So All right. All right, you guys have a great weekend. Bye.
Thank you, Hailey.
Thank you. Good job.